And welcome to the Nerds from Work, your weekly escape into the world of geeks, nerds, and people who enjoy alcohol. If you're drinking, put them up, Brandon. Hey,
hey, water, hey.
Yeah, we know you weak enzyme motherfucker. All right, guys. Hey, it's another week, another episode in season 2. Tell me what you've been up to. Tank.
Yep. So I have been bashing my head against this media server, trying to get it built. I got Linux installed. I got Plex installed. Now I'm trying to figure out how to get all my movies onto it. And it's been like I went to bed at 9 o'clock the other day because I had a migraine from being here in my little like dungeon for like 8 hours straight trying to get this thing to work. So that's basically that. Oh, and I started Boruto, the anime. My little brother's been watching it. I was very against it at first because I was a huge Naruto fan, and Boruto came out right after Naruto ended, and I was like, oh, same shit, different characters, I don't care. But now I'm a little bit more. Had some more time.
It's kind of different.
It is, and watching the anime, I'm like, okay, it is a little more different than I gave it credit for originally, and so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I started that today. Actually, I'm gonna see how that goes. So.
Have you watched the movie?
No.
Yeah, I would start with the movie.
Start with the movie? Okay, I'll definitely go back and do that.
I think it's kind of like the Dragon Ball Super thing, though. Remember, like, the first movie like, set up Dragon Ball Super was
the show,
basically the show, but it was, like, slightly different.
Yep.
But it, like, builds the characters. Like, how you build characters in a movie versus how you build characters in a TV show. It builds characters in the movie style, so that way it's much faster.
And long, right?
Yeah,
I'm on episode like 40.
Them.
There's like 53,
you still don't understand the characters, probably.
Yeah, I think I'm on episode 40 something of Boruto.
Yeah, I didn't even realize you were watching Boruto.
Yeah,
I want to know how far the TV show is in comparison to how far the movie got. Because remember, Dragon Ball Super, like the movie took up a significant amount.
See,
of those first,
I haven't seen the
episodes.
movie. So where does the movie end, Brandon? Like, what does the movie end with? Because then I'll tell you. Because I'm trying to see how that.
I don't even remember. I watched it not when it first came out. Dad went and saw it. Dad and Gloria saw it when it first came out. Remember, they called me and they're like, "Oh, so and so invited us to this movie thing, and we didn't know what they were talking about, and it's one of these anime movies." It was whenever I was in Mississippi still. And
weird.
Yeah, Dad saw
Boruto.
Yeah.
Weird.
The movie.
I didn't realize Boruto came out anywhere but like
because like for the first like
it wasn't in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was someone hosting a movie like a shop or something like that, hosting a movie thing. Yeah. And I think it's I don't know if it's I don't know if the title is Boruto or if it's Naruto
Next Generation or something.
Yeah, it's something like that, but it is the
I think it's the last. Yeah, I think that movie and Boruto are separate because I think it ties into how Naruto and Boruto like starts because him doing the Junin or the Chunin.
This movie has that. So this movie is like
it's so
in the movie
like
is the beginning of the like process exactly like Naruto.
I actually think so. I want to say that movie actually follows the manga. Where the manga starts out, and I think what they did for the anime, they actually backed the story up. Because in the anime, he just started the academy. They hadn't even made it to the Chunin exams yet, and so
the movie's like Naruto's fucking shit up. Like Boruto like drops out and starts training with Sasuke.
Yeah,
that's what's cool.
See,
shit.
and that's where and that's what the manga does. But the show is like I feel like the show's way before that.
Yeah, he like immediately just like puts the like crap across his because he already has the headband. Yeah, in the movie he already has the headband.
No, that's just like that very first part though, right? Or are you talking about?
I think he gets it from. I think he might get it from Sasuke though, but I know he starts training with like one-armed Sasuke.
Yeah.
And you find out that like Sasuke is that other kid's dad. Whatever.
Yeah, the girl's dad.
Yeah. They find all that out in the movie.
So that's cool. Brandon, what have you been up to?
Literally only been watching Critical Role. And Silicon Valley.
For those uninformed, what is Critical Role?
So it's a super, super famous Dungeons and Dragons live stream. They stream on, I think they stream on Twitch, which is usually like video game streaming. And they also stream on another platform. But they post all the episodes to YouTube. They also stream live YouTube as well, too. On like Thursdays, I think. I haven't caught up yet, though, so I haven't watched like an actual live stream. But they post all their episodes up to Geek and Sundry on YouTube, so you can like catch up.
Yeah.
But
I've watched some of Critical Role.
Yeah, so this is a new campaign started February, I think. So their first campaign went for well over 100 episodes, like way too much. And each episode is 4 hours. So they actually built out their characters, right? Like they hit the like level cap, they hit level 20, did all the cool stuff that no one in D&D ever gets to because it takes too long. And then they're like, well, fuck, let's start over. So they started over, and the cast is all voice actors. And we Alex and I started watching another one the other day just to watch like episode 1 of a different D&D show. And this Dungeon Master actually Dungeon Masters on other shows. And the other show had the kid from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, the Daredevil's girlfriend from the Netflix series.
Damn.
Yeah, it was all
celebrities.
Celebrities, but it's
like D-list
ongoing,
celebrities.
Yeah, but it's an ongoing like weekly show that they're on every week.
That's cool.
It's like the same cast, so she's on that show now. So it's very high list, like A list people that like Vin Diesel and stuff, and they had the dude that was the guy from Walking Dead,
Daryl,
the black dude with the dreads and
like
very wizard-esque.
The Kings.
Yeah, so he is friends with them. So he was on the last episode I watched.
Yeah.
He was cool. Like a guest in the show. So, and it's easy to just listen to, like podcast style.
Yeah.
It's also cool to watch because they have like a little square that pops up that shows them moving the characters, so you know what's going on too. So it's easy for like a work thing to be going on while you're working. And then I just watch it like or listen to it while driving. And yeah, so literally just that, and catching up on Silicon Valley because the new season of Silicon Valley just came out. So when Tank, you were actually talking about your building your stuff out, I was just thinking of Guilfoyle the whole time.
So I've never watched Silicon Valley yet, but I've heard a lot about it. What do you watch it on? Or do you watch it live, or do you watch it on like, Hulu or something?
HBO Go.
HBO Go, okay.
Yeah, it's on HBO Go. But yeah, there's a guy who builds a server for their company because like the other servers can't handle what they're trying to do, so they build their garage into a giant server room.
Nice.
It's like always like catching on fire and shit. And he named
just like
it
Tank's house.
Yeah, right.
Our server room.
When you're like, God, I was like all night like working on this. I was like, yeah, Guilfoyle like just did that.
Yeah.
Episode we watched. So that's pretty good. So yeah, that's all I've been doing to.
And in other news, they legalized marijuana in Brandon State.
Yeah, you can.
So
for real?
No. Yes.
Brandon's like, shit. How did I miss that?
Everybody's like, wait, what the fuck?
I knew it was legal to grow pot.
No, it's recreational now.
I know it's recreational.
How do I? I
Brandon's like, shit. I'll be back.
I knew it was.
Brandon's like, T, I'm done.
Did this just happen? I've been too caught up in the Mark Zuckerberg theme memes going around instead of reading real news.
So
it's funny.
Yeah, I have been doing a bit of everything. I'm like 110% involved at my job right now. Like I'm in that zone where everything is work related. Like I go to sleep, and the other night Kelsey was like, Jason, do you think about anything other than numbers and deals? And I was like, no, not really. Like that's it. Like if I can do this and I can make this happen and I can do this, then this is the result and this is what the end units are going to be. And this is, and she's like, Jason, no, I'm going to sleep. Good night. Like whatever. But yeah, like Brandon said, at work, it's nice to have some stuff going. And now I'm starting to realize that I've got to turn my brain off sometimes when I get home. So first thing, at work, I'm listening to Hyperforce RPG, which is a Power Ranger. Imagine that. Dungeons and Dragons game. And they actually, it's pretty cool. Like, they have Bulk from the original, like, Bulk and Skull. Yeah,
like,
he's now...
The first episode I watched that, I'm like, there's no way that's him. And I, like, Googled it, like, oh, shit, it is him.
Yeah, that's Bulk. And they actually bring, like, a lot of Rangers on. But the reason I'm catching up is because it ties in with Shattered Grid.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm trying to get fully immersed in Shattered Grid right now.
What is that? I don't know
Shattered Grid is the Power Rangers arc, like the story arc that's happening in the comics right now, where Tommy Oliver's character in an alternate universe, instead of joining the good guys, ends up continuing to be bad, even when he understands that Rita, like, controlled him. And then he kills Rita, and then he kills all the Power Rangers, takes their morphers, creates his own army. And, like, basically Tommy Oliver is, like, the baddest of the bad.
That's right.
And he's like a half green, half white ranger called Lord Draken. Or
What color would that be?
It's white and green. So he's white, but then, like, the under color, like the
Accent
liner,
colors.
Yeah, accent colors are green, but his visor is red, which is dope.
Yeah, it's
like,
because that's not a fan made. Like, what is that? Is it like a short
it
film?
was made. It was made by Kyle Higgins for the comic book. So this whole altered universe came from the comic book, and now it is so big that they actually have Jason David Frank did a movie for it, like a little short for it. Jason David Frank now wants to be Lord Draken if they ever bring him into the TV show. He's in the video games. Like, they're tying it into everything. So, yeah, I mean, Power Rangers is great if you want to spend time in it. Like, if it's a book worth reading, especially for those of us who grew up with it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. So I'm doing that, and I am trying to get back into Hearthstone.
Oh, okay.
So that
Actually,
because Magic the Gathering I can't really play while I'm, Brandon's the person I normally play Magic against, and he's in a state where they've now legalized marijuana, so Brandon will probably play a ton of it while he's doped up, but...
No doubt.
I'll re-download it again.
Playing myself. I'll just be playing myself at the table.
Brandon's like, damn, I'm so good. I didn't know
How the fuck did you build
that.
The fuck did you build that deck? What is that? Red, green, blue, black? Fuck.
How does that work?
It's like a deck all the with cards no mana. Got mixed together and in the box, and you weren't paying attention. Just picked all of them up and started playing with it. The fuck did that happen?
How the fuck do you have an instant as a mana? Never mind. Fuck
no,
it.
art definitely looks like land. I see.
So I've been trying to get back into Hearthstone, so I've been watching tutorials on that and different podcasts and just trying to get caught up because it's been a while. And everything that I'm reading or seeing says, "Oh, Hearthstone sucks right now. Just wait until the new set launches." And I'm like, "Oh, very, very positive."
Right.
But if you guys are fans of Magic and you're fans of Hearthstone, Magic is now starting a registration. So you can go online and pre-register at magicthearena.com. Magic Arena is basically Hearthstone graphics with everything that makes Magic great. So it's not Duels of the Planeswalkers, some shitty mobile game. It's actually going to start as a computer game. It's run by Unity, so that will be coming to mobile and some other platforms. But the biggest thing is they're not sacrificing anything with Magic Arena. So they're going to do all the card effects. They're like you're gonna have everything that regular Magic is. Even they hinted at a commander type.
That's tight.
Section. So you can do drafts, you can do regular standard play, you can do modern.
I'm good at
A
drafts.
lot of different things. Fuck you.
A little
So
bad blood there.
Draft we've ever played.
Yeah, Brandon's won every single draft. So.
Like even we went like to the like Magic
game
the
shop.
Gathering game shop like midnight release draft, and I've just fucked everybody.
No, that was a two-headed dragon.
No,
Two-headed giant.
remember the draft I won too. I won like the grand prize was like 6 packs, and then the guy was like, "Hey, how about we make a bet and both of us split the packs no matter who wins?" And we're like, "Okay." And then I destroyed him super fast. I was like, "Fuck, I shouldn't have made that bet."
Damn it, I shouldn't have done that.
That didn't work out in my favor.
The odds are not
Side
in your
note,
favor.
also though about Magic the Gathering. So like in watching all these D&D things, I've been like reading. So they came out with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition as well.
Yes.
And it has dethroned Pathfinder. So it took
interesting.
so a lot of people, whenever D&D was like from the 3.5 edition, they're like, oh, we're going to redo everything. The 4th edition sucked really bad. Pathfinder was built off of the 3.5 D&D that everybody loved.
Right.
And they were like, so we can use all of this like home-brewed material and you can make whatever the fuck you want because it's Pathfinder. And then it just got there's so much material, right? Like you could do anything you want with it, but because of that, there are so many rules and it's so much reading and research. And Jason knows, I've tried to get him to create characters multiple times and he's like, holy shit, this is a lot to go
It's so
through.
much, dude.
And
It's
I'm like,
so
yeah,
much.
it took me like almost 2 months to create my first character in Pathfinder because there's so many rules and it's like, okay, if I take this, then how does that affect everything down the line of the character I want to create? But so people were into that at the time because 4E sucked and they're like, oh, let's build, and then it got so convoluted or whatever. Then 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons came out and it revamped everything that sucked about 4th edition and made it easy to create characters and know what the fuck you're doing. So it's not, so a lot more of the decisions are on the dungeon master to say like, yes, you can do that, or no, you can't do that. And instead of so much math, it's like, oh, an advantage just means roll 2d20 and you pick the higher one. Like instead of like, oh, add this, subtract this, all that stuff. So it makes it a little bit easier to play. But the reason I want to bring it up is now Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons and Dragons. They have a Magic the Gathering based storyline. So you can create Magic. Yeah, so it's like in that realm, you can be like the wizard, like Jace, or you can be Ajani.
Fucking Garrick.
Yeah, you can
Garrick the Wind Speaker.
Yeah, you can create those characters, and they have a I don't know if it's out yet or if I was reading a thing that they're creating it, because like I think 5e came out like half a year ago or something like that, maybe a year ago. I don't know. It's fairly new in the timeline of Dungeons and Dragons. So there's not a lot of stuff out for that like goes with 5th edition because they're trying to keep it fairly limited. Because they don't want it to get too much, but they're opening up new classes and stuff like that. But I know they have like 4
fucking Planeswalker class.
Yeah, well, they have classes like that where it's like summoner and stuff. Yeah, the classes and the new races and the new classes are so. I've already created a new character in hopes that we find enough people to like just play a game. I'm just like begging people to be like, hey, do you know anybody who would want to be a dungeon master? Because I'm already like creating a character, like whole background.
If you guys are listening to the show and you want to be a dungeon master, find Brandon because that's some BDSM shit, and you guys can.
I don't know what that means.
Work that out.
Oh, Brandon's so young. It's okay.
I don't know what it stands for. I just know it's like leather whips and chains and shit.
Nice.
No thanks. They're like, They come to Brandon's door. They're like, "I'll be your dungeon master."
Yeah, everything is revamped, and it's really cool to get back into the whole figuring out how shit works. But yeah, they have a Magic the Gathering.
Nice. So
thing you can play.
We have went on a tangent about games, and
what?
If you want to see even more about that rabbit hole, you should check out the pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pre-show. You see that plug? Nice. Ping. Nice. So yeah, Tank and I did a pre-show on even more games, some mobile gaming, if you want to check that out. But let's lead right into today's topic. Hey, a single game that you guys think has pretty much shaped either the way that you look at our culture, like, our nerd culture, or you think has made major changes in just gaming and sci-fi nerd culture in general. Tank, you want to go first?
Sure. So the one series, I guess, of games that I have always been able to come back to, that I've always been fascinated by, are the Legend of Zelda games. I wish I could say I've played all of them, but I've played a lot of them. But what got me into them was Ocarina of Time. Playing that, I beat that game several times now.
So good.
Yeah, and so, what Ocarina of Time did for a lot of people was, got people into 3D gaming. And what it did for the industry was kind of groundbreaking. And to the point where a lot of games, it was really kind of the first. And Zelda as a whole, to the point, I literally bought a Nintendo Switch. It's sitting on the mantle in my living room. The only game I have for it is Breath of the Wild, which that game was fucking amazing. And so I literally bought an entire game system for one game. And I've played several.
We've been there.
Games. What's that?
We've all been there.
Yeah, right. So I've played several of the mobile games, the
Game
handheld
Boy
games. I played some of them on Game Boy, played some of them on my phone. So I guess it would be a mobile game. So, but I love those games, and I'm always trying to find another adventure puzzle game like that would be just as good. And you always come down to and it's always fun talking about nerd culture. You have the Ocarina of Time versus the Majora's Mask clubs.
Yeah.
And I will say, and I used to be full force Ocarina of Time all the way. I was like, Majora's Mask sucks. The 3D, until they remastered it for the 3DS, and I played it on 3DS, and I was like, Majora's Mask is amazing. It has a lot more subtlety to it than what I could wrap my brain around when I tried to play it when I was younger. But playing it now, I was like, oh my god, I get the timing, the 3-day thing, and how to get through all the that game was actually incredible. So
yeah, Majora's Mask is shit of nightmares, dude.
The shit of nightmares. It's the fucking it of games.
The moon's face, so scary.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask is scary.
Yeah.
All of it is terrifying, dude.
So actually the reason I bought a 3DS at all was to play the I was gonna play the Ocarina of Time remaster, but then they ended up coming out with the Majora's Mask remaster first. So I played it, then played the Ocarina of Time remaster. But again, so another reason I bought a whole game system for one game, and
we've all been there.
Yeah. So
I think going off of that too, not just the that game's growth in 3D gaming, but it's kind of Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about this. I think it was this past weekend. Mario, Mario 64 or whatever.
Yep.
That is a huge game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be 3D. Like if you think about like how large games are now, and think about how large that game was for like a cartridge, like
Yeah.
that game is ridiculously good to be like on that same forefront with Zelda, like Ocarina of Time, of like those were the first like few games that were this 3D like giant world that you need to go through.
If you look at it like this, right? Like a lot of guys that played Ocarina of Time are still playing video games today. Like a lot of kids that was their first game. Now they're like, I started when I was like super young with like a regular Nintendo, right? Like my dad got me one of those when I was like 3 or 4 or something like that.
But for me though, my first like video games were like 64.
Yeah,
where I was,
that's
like,
what Brandon remembers.
What was going on.
Yeah. Like we always had video games in our house, right? Like I played Castlevania, or not Castlevania. I did play Castlevania, but I played Castle Wolfenstein. I don't know if you remember that on like computer. Yeah. But by the time Brandon came around, like we had a Sega Genesis and we were playing Mortal Kombat and shit.
Yeah.
But see, Brandon remembers the Nintendo 64. And one of the things Brandon still says to this day is, do a barrel roll.
Yeah. So dig it. You remember that?
Dig it.
Skip it.
Dig it.
But yeah, I mean, Nintendo 64 opened a lot of doors for a lot of people, and people look at it as a nostalgia thing. But I think Ocarina of Time led to, the Uncharted series. It led to a lot of these big adventure games, and why people stick around and still play games today. So that's a good choice, dude. That's good. Sure. Brandon, what game?
Jason called me out before the show, and he like kind of called it, and it's not just because I'm watching this Dungeons and Dragons thing, but it's kind of the like history behind that. You can't really deny how much Dungeons and Dragons has done like for everything, and I'm not gonna like claim that it is the reason all of these things became popular, but if you think about the whole like sci-fi, fantasy, whatever realm, like Dungeons and Dragons came out in like 70s. So like pre-70s, there weren't that many huge like sci-fi fantasy things going on.
Right.
So that led to kids, adults, everybody being thrown into this world that's completely imaginary, that literally anything can happen, because video games, they still have limits of like
it's linear. It's still pretty linear.
Yeah, like you and I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, you're supposed to get to a certain point, right? You're supposed to go from point A to point B and save whatever. But half the fun is just like this show, fucking off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just do whatever you want, and it like builds it builds like the like imagination and how you actually view things, kind of like reading a book versus watching a movie.
Yeah.
It's like, in this analogy, I guess reading a book would be playing Dungeons and Dragons, watching a movie would be video games, right? It's like watching the movie, you're not imagining what people are looking like. You're not imagining what their surroundings look like and stuff like that. Whereas in a book, they might say, this is their skin tone, this is how they look, whatever. But in your mind, you don't have Leonardo DiCaprio as every person, right? Jason probably does.
I do. I do. It's a mixture between Leonardo DiCaprio and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, even the women.
Them wearing dresses. But it's like it's that being able to. And like Jason was saying, it's good to try to separate yourself from work or separate yourself from whatever. It's that separation of like, it's the separation from whatever you're doing.
Church and state.
Then and then the added bonus of like, I'm separating myself, but I'm also in control to an extent of what's going on in this world, instead of like just going through it kind of thing.
So I think that you definitely should have went last, because that is a fucking worm, like a huge rabbit hole. Yeah. But in all honesty, I mean, looking at what Tank just said, I mean, look at Zelda. All the item lists and all this shit, and you put it in a bag, all that shit originated from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
like Zelda itself video games in general
Yeah.
have the stories, have the plots, have the main things, and it's all because these games came from Dungeons and Dragons. People that, you know, and it might be like, oh, I don't know if shit says this now, but like somebody's like, oh, I was inspired by Ocarina of Time. Like, I made this great game because I was inspired by Ocarina of Time. Well, Ocarina of Time's like, well, I was inspired by the original Zelda game. Well, the original Zelda game was probably inspired by Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got something, and it's like that, what is it? 26
7
shades.
degrees of Kevin
Yeah,
Bacon.
7 degrees, 26 shades of gray. 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will Smith. This is the one I like to play. But anyway, yeah, that's what it is. Is like
I like
it all
how
goes back to Dungeons and Dragons.
I like how you could argue that Dungeons and Dragons is probably the nerdiest game you could play, and it's funny because it requires you to have friends to play it.
Yeah,
That's what makes me laugh. It's
that's
like,
my hardest part.
yeah,
I
right.
don't have enough friends to fucking play the game. I have friends that are like, yeah, I'm willing to learn and stuff, but I don't have like this huge umbrella of friends where it's like, oh, I know this person that could be a dungeon master. I know this person.
So this leads me to two things. Number one, Tank is right that you have to have friends to play it, right? And you know, there are originally 4 of us on the show, and Tank and I don't really know how to play Dungeons and Dragons. But we're both like, yeah, we'll try it out. That's fine. Because we're fans of sci-fi and we understand the median, and we know that Dungeons and Dragons is a huge part of where we are at today. So yeah, we'll give it a shot. Like somebody's got to like it, right? So we'll give it a shot. But Naru, who loves science fiction and loves all this shit, would never want to play Dungeons and Dragons, and that's what surprises me is like there's so many people that hate on it when they don't understand that that's where everything comes from. Like,
yeah, and another thing
it's so weird to me.
A lot of the people that hate on it, that like other nerdy shit, are the ones that are like also trying to act like they're, I don't know, like they're superior in their thoughts.
Yeah, right? Naru.
No, I'm not saying Naru, but I'm just saying in general, a lot of people who don't want to try it out are like, oh, that's like beneath me. Why would I do that? That's fucking so stupid. Why would I do that? Walk around and like break barrels and shit. And it's like literally the game is shaped off of your decisions and it's literally the one game that your higher level of thinking shapes the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
Like,
my other
if there's one game you should play, it would be that.
Yeah.
My other point is also Tank's point is that, you know, the nerdiest people on Earth, us, play Dungeons and Dragons, but typically, I'd say about 80% of the time, those people are not extroverts. No. They like stay to themselves. Like,
right.
Like they don't want to go out. They don't want to do this shit. So I just think that's funny that you have to have friends to play it, but probably about 80% of your player base is people that don't really like going out and finding new friends.
Like when we talk about, like you mentioned, kind of like culture earlier. Like if you take a nerd and put them in like a gym, like they're gonna stick out like sore thumb. But if you take a nerd and you put them at Dragon Con, then all of a sudden they're not quite so like introverted as like you might think.
Yeah.
And so like it's really cool how like it could take somebody who is generally introverted, and if you put them with a group of other people who are like, like let's go play this game, like it's gonna be dope, like then all of a sudden they're like, you can't get them to shut up. Like it'd be it's an interesting.
It also these games bring people together.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
It's a community aspect.
Another like less the philosophical view of the game, I guess, impact on culture. Like I said, the 5th edition just came out, and it's been like a huge success, like a huge boom. All these famous people are playing it now, and are on podcasts playing it now. I don't know if I actually said that on game. I've been before the show, but whatever. Yeah, the most like recent in your face, holy shit, this is something. Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Everything in Stranger Things is based off of Dungeons and Dragons. Like the Demogorgon is a Dungeons and Dragons being.
Can we talk about Stranger Things, or are we gonna get sued too?
Who got sued?
What happened?
Stranger Things. Someone's filing a lawsuit against them, saying that they stole the idea for Stranger Things from a short film.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that shit's on comicbook.com and all over the nerd news. Stranger Things getting sued.
Wow. I still haven't seen
the
second
what
season.
the fuck? Like, okay, you're trying to tell me
it's all based on it.
Yeah.
All based on Dungeons and Dragons, 100%.
I mean, so was the movie Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that shit sucked though. Everything.
Brandon's like, well, yeah, but why'd you bring that up? I don't understand.
Oh yeah.
Well,
So
I
it's
mean,
just
like
fucking other game.
World of
movies.
Warcraft. World of Warcraft.
Suck.
No, is based on not the
movie?
movie, dude. The game.
I'm talking about the movie.
No, I'm saying the
It
game.
didn't suck. It wasn't great, but I didn't think it sucked.
The game is based on Dungeons and Dragons.
It's highly. Did you guys ever play the game Dragon Age?
Also based on Dungeons and Dragons, but no.
Yeah, it was. Me and my dad grew up loving that. Like we played. So I've played several editions of that game.
RuneScape.
Yep.
You guys ever played Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Not based on Dungeons and Dragons.
Probably is, dude. Probably is. There was a whole
The Oregon Trail.
Trying to like figure shit out. Oregon Trail. The past 2 episodes of Critical Role, they were on the road, dude.
They're
Getting like attacked by bandits.
Did anyone die from
You got
dysentery?
syphilis.
Okay, they got syphilis. They didn't die from
syphilis.
dysentery.
They didn't want to get
Close
sued
enough.
either. So
Close enough.
Yeah.
So that actually ties us into my game, and I would say I will go ahead and give Brandon props. His game has also fed into my game, and I'm gonna go with Magic the Gathering.
yeah.
And that's about as nerdy as you can get.
Just 100% thought you were gonna say Pokemon.
Dude, I thought about it. I went between Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. But to me personally, Magic the Gathering means a lot more because there are a lot more aspects to it, to me. I mean, I know that people spend a ton of time on Pokemon, but I don't. So Magic the Gathering is actually celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. So happy birthday, Magic. Yeah, they just released.
I
videos,
invented
2 days
it
ago.
when I was 1 year old.
Yeah, and this is the crazy part. Like, this is how far back it goes. Like, my knowledge of Magic. Do you guys remember Wizard magazine? Used to be a magazine. You read about comic books.
Yeah, but it's
in a
because
magazine.
like
you would steal mine. Yeah.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
you
no,
were at Jinx and you would bring them home because you
Yeah.
would go to the comic book store waiting for one to pick you up. Call it from the freaking payphone.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Bro.
Most of our viewers
That's
probably don't
about
even know what a payphone is.
Yeah.
What do
Whatever.
the stats say?
Yeah. What do our stats say? We have viewers in Germany and Nova Scotia, so.
We have viewers.
We do actually, believe it or not. But yeah, so on the back of one of the Wizard magazines, there was actually a Minotaur, and it was Magic the Gathering. And I was like, what the hell is this? And why is there this random, like, I didn't even know what it was called at the time. I'm in like elementary school, and I'm like, what is that? But I'll never forget. And I was driving to my grandmother's house, and I pointed to Kelsey. I was like, and that's the Target where I bought my first Magic the Gathering set. And she was like, wow, you are a nerd. I was like, I am a nerd.
There's nothing past tense about that statement.
No, she said
True.
you are a nerd.
Okay.
You are a nerd.
That makes more sense.
Because I still remember, yep, that's where I picked it up, and it was Magic 10th set or whatever. I don't remember what set it was, but I just remember I picked it up, and I loved the art so much, but I couldn't figure the fucking game out.
That's
Every card game we tried to play as kids.
Like, I was so fucking young, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And Magic was really made for, like, high school and up, and I'm, like, in elementary school, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? As in elementary school, I'm like, what the fuck?
Because that was also pre-internet. Like, now you could just look it up on YouTube how to play. Back then,
so
it was
like
you can't just look it up unless you get a starter pack, which our parents would have been like, what? That's more than $2? No. You can't have this little pack.
No. I bought I did buy a starter set, but I had to buy it with my money. So I remember buying it because I wanted it.
Yeah.
Because all the other kids were into Pokemon cards. But if you don't know, Pokemon cards, actually, the whole reason that trading card games are popular is because of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
So, Pokemon, Hearthstone, everything else, Magic the Gathering.
I always liked Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I felt like it was a simpler Magic.
It is.
And so that's when. So like when 100%. I was younger, like I enjoyed collecting the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and playing those with my buddies because it was like I felt like I could enjoy it more just because I didn't have to like spend 2 days trying to figure out just how to like how the game works.
It wasn't Pokemon.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh forever.
Yeah, Brandon played it for a while.
I didn't play Magic until after I was like out of high school.
Yeah.
Like I was already in college, and Jason was like, "Hey, I'm back into Magic. You should get into it." Because he had cards. I never had cards. Jason did, and I would play with his cards when he wanted to play, but he had friends that played through middle school or whatever at like the Boys and Girls Club. So he played with them. So I didn't play that much growing up. I would play a little bit here and there with Jason. But I definitely played Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. Like, Jason had a Magic deck, I had Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. And my Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck was lit.
Is that young flame got them 3 robots and a dragon.
It was fire, dude. I had the
and a ninja.
Red Eyes Black Dragon, then I had a Toon deck. Ooh.
Yeah, but magician all day.
Nah, fam.
But now Brandon and I both play Commander because keeping up with regular Magic is too expensive.
No, dude, that $15 deck. That was literally my favorite thing.
It's so much fun.
Like doing that and then going on.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, going on the cruise and playing with that. That was my favorite way to play for sure.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun. But so basically, what Magic has done for the community is it's just blown up so many things. You can't even turn on the App Store in your phone right now without seeing one kind of collectible card game. And now card games and strategy games are evolving. So Warhammer 40,000 is another one that I thought about doing because that game has done so much for strategy gaming. But Magic was voted the #1 strategy game of all time because especially in Commander, you have 100 cards, singleton, so you can only have one of each. So every card has to be different.
Yeah.
But it's throughout Magic's history. So 25 years of cards where there are thousands of cards and no single deck is going to be the same.
Yeah.
Like no one will have the same
debatable.
Okay, if you net deck, yes.
Yeah.
But
those people suck.
If you're playing Commander, you're just playing for fun anyway. So you're not really net decking.
They have net deck Commander decks.
I know,
it's
but you
so
shouldn't.
Stupid. They're like, oh yeah,
it's so dumb.
$300 for this perfect built deck. Just
but it's not perfect.
We already built it for you.
Dude, I took a deck that I've got. See, you do spend money. I've got like $60 in my deck or something like that.
I don't.
But
I do not.
I took it to a Grand Prix, and I was beating people who had hundreds of dollars in theirs. And I'm like, because it's luck of the draw. I mean,
yeah, because like that's what I was gonna say. I say I don't have that much money in my deck, but like if you actually that green blue deck I have, if you took each one of those cards, my actual good commander deck that destroys most commander
expensive.
decks. Yeah, if you took it and priced each card out, it would be really expensive. But it was because we knew people while we were in California that were like, "Oh, you're trying to do that? I have a couple of these. Have one." Oh, you because it's commander, so you only can get one anyways. So probably 90% of the deck was given to me. I paid like maybe $5-10 on the other cards that I wanted to like assist this deck.
Yeah,
but I built
and then we
card
had
that we got out of a pack. Yeah, we had some random cards that we weren't using in other decks, and we were like, oh, this doesn't work. Let's put it in this. And then a bunch of people were like, oh, you want that? Here, this is really good for that. I'm not going to use it. Here, have it. So like technically it probably costs a lot of money. But for me, it didn't.
Brandon, we all know you're cheap. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm super cheap.
The whole world knows you're cheap. But Magic has just done so much for, just evolving card games. And when you look at it, that rolls into Hearthstone, that rolls into Clash Royale, that rolls into anything with these mana costs and, payments and all these things. It all stems from Magic, and Magic stems from, Magic and Zelda both stem from Dungeons and Dragons.
I would even say MOBAs probably stem from Magic.
Oh, yeah. No, MOBAs, I would say,
well, my favorite book series, the Black Prism, that series about the Lightbringer series.
Yeah.
The author in his whatever blurb
forward
at the end.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I love Magic the Gathering. This is based off of Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
He's like the properties of these colors and spell types are based off of the properties of the colors of Magic the Gathering. He
MOBAs,
just straight up says it.
I just thought about it. MOBAs are based off of Dungeons and Dragons.
Be more Dungeons
Dota. Yeah, Dota actually is the first MOBA that was created on a not World of Warcraft. It was a Warcraft 3 server that was a closed server where people just chose one hero and started going against each other in lanes. Dota is the first MOBA created on a Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 is based strictly off of, loosely, a strategy from Warhammer 40,000 and Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
Not even 7 degrees. So
holy shit. Damn. I know a lot of shit.
7 degrees of D&D.
Yeah. So moral of the story, everybody start watching Critical Role Campaign 2. There's not that many episodes to catch up on. Just so that way I have someone to talk to it about. They're all really funny. They drink a lot of alcohol, and it's funny as shit.
Wait, is that like us?
Yeah, drink a lot of alcohol, cuss the whole time, talk about syphilis and stuff. It's funny as fuck.
Dude, when was the last time we talked about syphilis? Episode 3?
I talked about it this episode.
Like 30
guys.
minutes ago?
All right, that's going to wrap it up for our gaming episode. Hey, give them your last thoughts and where to find you. Tank.
Yep, so if you've never played a Legend of Zelda game, shame on you. Play Breath of the Wild first, and then go play Ocarina of Time. No, probably Majora's Mask, and then Ocarina of Time. I don't know. But you can find me, Cape Critic, internet, all over the place. Go play Zelda. It's awesome.
Brandon.
I would just like to say I took the MVP for this episode.
What the fuck?
That's my last thought. You can find me in Athens, Bad and Busted at B Miller.
What is that? Like a
right at the back of the magazine.
Battered woman?
No, it's the so in Athens, Georgia, you go to gas stations. They have magazines of people who've been arrested, and they have their mug shots to shame them.
Oh god. Okay.
Bad and Busted.
All right. You know, Brandon's exercising that new marijuana law. So, yeah, my saved round is if you are thinking about doing something with magic, I would highly recommend jumping into Hearthstone first. It's on your phone. It's free. Try that out. See if you like it. If you like it, then see where that can take you. Instead of spending money on magic, because that is a black hole that you just throw a lot of money down. Trust me.
Or
Kelsey
trust me,
knows.
don't spend money on it.
Yeah.
$15 max.
Don't spend money on it unless your brother is spending money on it, and then you just
Steal his card.
piggyback
Balling
off
your
him.
brother.
Oh, you're not using green and black? Let me get those.
Let me get.
You
those. You bought like 5 new packs. Let me get the ones you don't want.
Yo, you only use red and white. Let me get those. Hey, you guys can catch me at Houdini0333. Hey, check us out. We're on Twitter and Instagram at NerdsFromWork. We're on Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes at TheNerdsFromWork. Email us at TheNerdsFromWork@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out the pre-show, Comic Corner, and whenever we get around to doing something else, check that shit out too. Hey, from all of us here at the workplace, peace.